as you all know, this is Prachi Thawal from 11th standard, and first of all, I want to thank my English teacher to give us the golden opportunity to present ourselves to the first chapter of our English book, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. So, me along with my group members Unnati, Ayush and Akshar will present ourselves, and we will feel very proud to present ourselves in front of you all. So, Ayush will begin the first chapter.
Hello, my name is Ayush Hussain. First, I will start the para of the story. The narrator grandmother was depicted as an old woman who has remained unchanged for 20 years, who has wrinkled and have bent posture. The portrait of his grandfather in the drawing room showed him as an old elderly man with long beard and who used to wear turban and long fitting clothes, loose clothes. And the narrator humorously notes that his grandfather has no children, wife, but have grandchildren, and he does not believe the stories of her grandmother playing games. It seems absurd and feels like the mythical tales. And despite her physical appearance, he depicted her beauty, peacefulness, and she also often seen hobbling around the house with the rosary in her hands because she was very spiritual and religious woman. And author highlights her inner beauty, peace, serene, and kindness. Thank you.
Now, the author describes the relationship between he and his grandmother. So he said when his parents left them, and then his grandmother and he used to live together. His grandmother in the morning used to wake him up and used to dress him for the school. Then she would prepare all the breakfast and tie all the bundle of the essential items which were essential for the school. She would also sang the monotonous prayer in the morning because she wanted that his grandson would learn it by heart. And after having the breakfast, they used to apply the sugar and butter in the stale chapatis for the street dogs. Then they used to proceed to the school. His grandmother also proceeded to the school because the school was attached to the temple, and as she was a religious lady, she read the scriptures in the temple, and his grandson used to say that the Christ taught the alphabets and the morning prayer. Then, after completing their reading hours, they used to proceed to go to their home where they met the street dogs. They provide them the stale chapatis which they prepare by applying butter and sugar in them, and then they proceed to school. So now the writer also describes that the relationship strained over time. That was the turning point of their relationship because the writer's parents were settled in the city and they had called them up. After that, they really talked to each other because once upon a time he went through his English school with the help of the motor bus, and very rarely they talked to each other because once his grandmother asked him that what your teachers has taught you, then he said that my teachers had taught the laws of gravity, the principle of Archimedes, and the law of physics, Western science, etc. This made her unhappy. And after this, one day, the writer told her that we were taught the music lessons. It made her disturbed because she was a religious lady and believed that the students were taught about the God and scriptures. So after this, they rarely talk to each other. Thank you.
Then the narrator moves to the university and gets a room of their own, and it causes a distance from their grandmother. Then the grandmother accepts her seclusion and spends the day spinning and reciting prayers. Then the grandmother finds joy in feeding sparrows in the afternoon, and this was the happiest moment of her day. And after some time, the narrator decides to go abroad for the studies. The grandmother shows silent strength and resilience. At last, at the railway station, the grandmother feels bit favorable with
he would not be able to see his grandmother when he will come from the abroad after the 5 years of study. But no, he was wrong. When he back from the abroad, he saw her grandmother that she had came on the railway station to receive him. So he became very happy. But the grandmother was not looking very happy. She was not showing any emotions in her face. But she silently placed it on his head and clasped her in her arms. Then they went to their home. But the surprising thing was that on the first day of Ryder's arrival, the grandmother was not showing any emotions. Even she was busy in her telling the beads of rosary and was busy and her lips were busy in the spiritual songs. So the writer experienced and the writer saw that the grandmother was not happy after seeing him, and even now she is busy in feeding the sparrows in the courtyard. Then the grandmother was not showing the emotions, but insidely in her heart she was very happy after his grandson's arrival. So she showed her emotions by playing a dilapidated drum in the evening, and she called all her neighbors and was singing the homecoming songs. And she was showing like a warrior has come from the victory of his war. But suddenly, the next morning, the grandmother was become ill, and the doctor said it was not it was not serious. It is only the mild fever, and soon she will be okay. But after some time, the condition of the grandmother was becoming so poor, and she laid on the bed and was saying that my last time is coming, and she stopped talking to anyone. She was ignoring everyone in her family. All were protesting her that no, this is not the right time to say these things. But she was saying no. I have experienced, and I am saying to you that it is my last time here, and now I don't want to talk to you anymore. And she's starting telling her beads of rosary and starting her prayers. But suddenly she became died, and all the members of her family becomes upset. Then like every family, her family members covered her body with a red shroud and laid her on the ground. But the writers saw that all the sparrows are sitting around the dead body of the grandmother, and saw that the golden light of the sunlight is coming from the veranda, and all the sparrows were showing her their emotions as they are upset by this news. Then the writer saw that her mother feed the sparrows by giving bread to them, but no one take them. The next day, the writer saw that the sweeper was removing all the breads from the ground and was throwing that in the dustbin. So it was a very upset moment for the author and for everyone who were looking for them. So at the end, we see the story that it was too upset and very sorrowful ending in the story. So by this story, we can conclude that sorrows and problems are the part of life, but we should always try to overcome these problems.